All right, welcome back. This is Adam Gordon, your host. Very excited about today's episode. Today's episode is brought to you by who should we go with? Let's go with Connor Sports, the world leader in sports flooring. They do everything from NBA courts to FIBA courts, the March Madness courts, all the way down to your local high school, community center. They've got the highest end product to the most affordable product and everything in between. Connor Sports for all of your flooring needs. Make sure you hit them up. Let them know that Rising Coaches sent you. They've been our partner from day one. We've had a great relationship for, almost 12 years now, which is crazy to think. All right. Today we are joined by our very own Erin Sinnott, Director of Operations and Member Services for Rising Coaches. And she's got some big news, a big article on this national media company dropped today, explaining her new job. She is going to join the staff at Minnesota with Minnesota women's basketball. Erin, good afternoon. How are you? Congratulations. What's up?
Hello, I'm good. I'm super excited. I feel like it's kind of been under wraps for a while.
It has been. Yeah.
I've told, my people and like my family and friends and stuff, but yeah, a few people have caught on, but now kind of it's out there, and I'm super excited to get to be excited about it. It's a week away, so
yeah, right around the corner.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool seeing you on this side of the camera, because usually you're behind the scenes running our entire operation, and now you get to be front and center for once, finally.
Yeah, it was a little weird when you were like, I had to like send myself the link. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I can't just like hop in. I have to do it on the other side. So yeah, definitely good. It's good practice, and I'd much rather, I think, be on the other side of the camera and controlling it a little more, but here I am. You're always pushing me out of my comfort zone, so I'm not surprised.
Here you are. Well, I think it'd be good, like, just for reference for everybody, to talk about like how you got started with us, and your background a little bit. You were a hooper, which was instant bonus for you. When we interviewed you, we were like, okay, she's a hooper. She gets it. She knows what we're doing. You played at Evansville and then finished up at Damon College up in Buffalo, New York, right?
Yes, the 716. I definitely claim Western New York for sure. Was able to be a product of transfer and end up in just such a great culture, a great coaching staff. Jennifer Banker has done an incredible job there, and she was actually my first female coach, like head coach, in my entire life. I've never really had female coaches, and she was by far the toughest, just from how she challenged me both, on and off the court, and showed me that, I could have a future in sports. So she definitely is a big proponent to kind of what I'm doing and the direction I'm heading now.
Very cool. And prepared you hopefully a little bit for the crazy winters you're about to endure in Minnesota. So I'm glad you got some experience in that neck of the woods.
Yes, fingers crossed. I was like, please, everyone, send me Starbucks gift cards, because
I'm gonna send you mittens.
That's true. Yeah, that too. It's gonna be my third: Chicago, Buffalo, Denver, Minnesota. So it's gonna. I think I like the snow. We'll see. I'm a big seasons girl, so that clearly shows. I'm super excited. So, but yeah, it is definitely gonna be the most north I've lived.
Okay, so you'll do fine. But okay, so hooper, you graduated. You knew you wanted to work in sports. It sounded like you were kind of like not sure if you wanted to coach, not sure if you wanted to be like more in like sports management, sports marketing. You ended up with a GA spot at Southern Illinois in their sports marketing department, right?
Yeah. So I was in the communications department. So kind of rewinding a little bit, I actually thought I was gonna be a doctor. So I went in pre-med my first 2 years. Nope, it was not my thing. I loved it, but I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. And I knew that was kind of the factor that was gonna set me apart of, putting in the long hours and what was ahead of me. When I transferred to Damon, a big reason why I went there was just our athletic director at the time. Her name was Bridget Nyland. She was incredible. And she was a female athletic director. She had just brought the whole athletic department to D2. So they were going through all of that. At the time, I thought I wanted to do stuff with the NCAA, LOL. Now, absolutely. Just glad I
screw those guys.
I don't know if I can say that, but
I can say it. You can't say it. You're going to work at Minnesota, but
yeah. But I thought that was kind of what I wanted to do. And then I was able to, just being in Buffalo, like, it's such a sports city. It's like, there's just so much to do. There's so many different like elements to the sports in the city. And then too, just the decision to go D2. I really was able to have a big balance, and we still competed. Like, I, to this day, will take it with me that like we would put up a really good fight against any D1 team we ever played. Exhibition games, we always actually came out on top against our D1 opponents. Like, it was just such a great balance. And that was something that I really wanted and why I chose D2. And then being in Buffalo, I was able to get an internship. I unfortunately got injured. And so it kind of freed me up because I didn't have to travel or I couldn't travel and do things like that. And then that was kind of how, through my internship boss that I stayed super connected with, she really pushed me to just like get outside my comfort zone, do as much as possible, meet as many people as possible. And so I actually worked for the Buffalo Sports Commission while I was in school. And we brought in tournaments and different things, and we hosted a bunch of stuff actually at UB, the University at Buffalo. And I happened to also do my senior year, like my second internship with the football team. And so I kind of used it as like, do I want to be in like a private sports industry? Do I want to be with coaches and players and things like that, and kind of make the impact and be on a college campus? And just working for the recruiting coordinator, kind of being his right-hand person was absolutely incredible. I ended up deciding I stayed for a summer, worked all of the camps with them, really just got super ingrained in that staff at the time. They actually just went to Kansas, so I'm super excited for them. They're going to do an amazing job there. But there, I just loved being on campus. I loved everything that had to do with the visits and those kids and kind of the impact that my college years had made on me. I wanted to just really dive into that and create like just this awesome environment for, kids to really figure out who they want to be and who they are. And then, so then through there, that internship boss, I think, knew Brandon, and I got to SIU, and I decided that once I graduated, I was like, let me take a step back from basketball. My life kind of like cycles through the seasons of basketball. So it's like, all right, summer, you're like nonstop working, like you're getting in work every day. You're sweaty 24/7. Like, I think they say like champions are made over the summer. And that was like what I was about. And so then my life was just then preseason in the fall. And then you kind of have those like 2 waves of like in season during the winters, things like that. And then you kind of chill in the spring a little bit, still kind of do your spring season and cool down and stuff. And then just really get ready to hit hard in the summer. And I felt like I just needed to take a step back. I needed to make sure I could be somebody without basketball, but also kind of figure out like, hey, is sports, am I cut out for this? Is it something I want to do because, I respect the industry and care about it, and like, but does it respect me kind of? And I know everyone has to be like graduate assistant. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort. You have to be the bottom of the totem pole. Like, you got to. And so, I decided to take the marketing position at SIU, my least favorite thing in the entire world. Had the most incredible boss. She was just incredible. I don't think I could have really gotten through without her. She really just showed me the ropes, and she was a mom, and just how she balanced and did everything and executed, and just she was amazing, absolutely amazing. And so she really pushed me too. She, like, every single day, like, she would catch me. I would always do my homework and stuff and work out in the arena at the Banterra Center. It's the Banterra Center now. And there's this little ledge, and I would always be out there watching basketball practice. And she'd come out and be like, so, like, like marketing? And I'd be like, LOL, I don't know. And then that spring, obviously last spring, the pandemic hit. It was devastating. I literally think I had 3 days off in the spring. That was like the first kind of really break I had all year. And I drove up to Chicago to stay with my parents and just kind of like chill and get out of Carbondale. And the pandemic hit, and like obviously it hit really hard, but Chicago it was really right away. And I kind of scrambled a little bit because I wasn't sure, what was going to happen. And for the first time in everyone's lives, like sports were non-essential. And I feel like that was a big gut check for everybody. Everyone was like, wait, what? Like sports are God, like they're the world. And I think I really took a step back and was like, whoa, like what's going to happen? How am I going to, get through this? But I knew I wanted to finish my master's. I loved the program I was in. And so then Allie, my internship boss from Buffalo, knew Brandon. I think he called me, he hopped on the phone with me because I just needed an internship at the time to finish out, my like studies. And I was like, what sports internship can I get that's remote? Like, that's not going to suck. And so, yeah, then I like literally remember looking at the website and I was like, how have I never heard of this? Like, this is literally my heart, like in a company. That's wild. Like kind of sad. I'm like 11 years late, whatever. And then, I just kind of like, I think you vetted me a little bit and called me and we were kind of going back and forth. And then it was kind of like off to the races.
Yeah, because when the pandemic hit and everyone pumped the brakes on sports, that's kind of when we started ramping up. We had just launched the membership 5 months prior anyways. So we were starting to pick up steam, and then the season stops, everyone's stuck at home, and all of a sudden we've got to like ramp everything up. And so we're like, we got to get some help. And you came on as it was supposed to be an internship, but I think like a week after we talked to you on the phone, I'm pretty sure because of COVID, they cut your program or the GA spot. And so, it wasn't before long you were working for us. I say full-time, not really full-time pay, but full-time for sure. And you were quickly like part of the team, part of the family, and helping us run the show. Which I'm sure was like, because we were just trying to figure it out as we went. We're still trying to figure it out as we go.
I was like, wow. Wait, I was like, we know.
No, we still don't know.
I was like, when did we arrive at this point?
How was that like transition from like, okay, you're out of it, you're in marketing, which you're not really your thing, you don't really enjoy it, and now all of a sudden, you get an opportunity to kind of jump on with a quasi startup basketball coaches community. What was it like?
I think I was most encouraged and most excited behind just like the heartbeat and the bones and the structure of like what Rising Coaches is. I think that's like one thing I probably thought about it multiple times a day. Like anytime like I would get frustrated or wouldn't know what to do or wouldn't know, I'm like, what the heck does Adam want? Like, I don't know what's going on. That was always something I reverted back to, was like, we are like serving our community, and our community just happens to be, these really great, passionate basketball coaches, which then are going to affect, 15 to whatever your roster is of like young adults or children or kids that are developing. And like I once was. So I think having that like just at the forefront and that being like our mission was the biggest thing. And then I think I was just so excited about like they're not really that structure. I really enjoyed. I was able to have like control and creativity and organization where like you kind of were the ideas and the mastermind behind things. But then I was like, hey, like, this is how I think we can bring this to life, or this is how, I want to organize this program, or, or even just like the way that we were able to like make things happen, that I was like, I don't know how this just came together, but we put a lot of time into it, and, you want to see it, take off and be successful. And then at the end of the day, it serves that membership that I'm so passionate about and my heart's behind, and like I want to see succeed and do well and really benefit from, you know, what we're doing. It was definitely really hard, like at times, like I say this to you all the time, like not having your desk or your office next to mine, or, you know, those balancing my masters, like shout out to you and my mom for like forcing me to finish, because I was like, okay, maybe next year or in 2 years. Like, I don't really, and then you were like, you have one class left. Like, absolutely not. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing it. And so just having like that that connection and that relationship. But then, yeah, it really, I struggled when you weren't there, you know, to really push me and do things like that. So like having to stay self-motivated, to make sure things were getting done, things were moving, because yeah, like I never really asked for more until I was doing what you kind of gave me to a high level and felt like I was executing and confident about it. And then all of a sudden, like we had made a whole ass position. I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so much stuff. Like this is a full job. Like, and it was so much fun, and not a single day was the same. Like, you know, like bowing and doing all of that. Like I feel like I can honestly do anything at this point because of just like how much I grew from this past year. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that
unknown.
and I think the thing that people probably don't realize is like, yes, I would always call you and be like, Aaron, I need your help bringing this. I got this idea. I need your help bringing it to life. And you would always like, you know, like ground us and help us actually get it done. But I think the thing that people don't realize is like, we've got like 1,500 members, and every day somebody's needs help with this. Somebody's having issues with that. You know, there's just, like you said, no 2 days are the same. There's always different problems coming at you from all angles. So in a way, hopefully we have prepared you well for Minnesota basketball. I'm sure we have.
I hope so.
But yeah, I mean, it was certainly a lot that we put on your plate, and you handled it like a champ, and you were doing a lot of, let's talk about some of the other stuff you were doing on top of it. You mentioned finishing your master's. You also, to help make ends meet, worked as a nanny. You also worked at a preschool, which I'm pretty sure you're in the back room of a preschool right now. You also hosted Women in Sports, the podcast for us / live Zoom, for a while with Ashton Pills, and then for a while solo. And then you also, we sent you off to work the Dos Equis 3-on-3 tournament. You had a lot going on this past year. Talk about like how some of those things, like, did that wear you down? Did that energize you? Like, talk about balancing all that stuff.
Yeah. So I think my biggest thing is like there's this thing about comfort that makes me super uncomfortable. Like so just like kind of my thought process through, or like reflection, I should say. So like the whole world shut down. I'm moving home for the first time. And like, I wasn't someone, like when I went to college, like your girl was gone. Like I would come home for like 2 days in the holidays, say what's up to the homies, and then like I would bounce. Like I never really had been back immersed in my community. And I like grew up in like I love my parents. You know, they're pillars of our community. They're like amazing people. And just like I'm still, you know, I still pull up to the high school, and I still talk to I still have like really deep roots in my community. But like I was petrified that like if I stayed there for quarantine and during this pandemic, I was never going to leave. And that like scared the crap out of me. I was like, no, like I'm young, like I want to get out. Not saying it was like I'm running away from anything or it's a bad situation or area. Like I just knew I had so much more to like learn and grow. And I wanted to experience different places. So I like hightailed it to Denver, because I knew going into the sports industry, like you're going to have to job chase, and you're going to have to go to places and go to jobs and make yourself available in that way. And I knew that was going to be something that I could do, but I wanted to be selfish. And I was like, I'm going to take a sabbatical for a year and, you know, go out and live in Denver. And so, yeah, I just kind of like made something out of nothing. So I started nannying over the summer, just like for an income. And I knew that was something I had always really done during school. Like I always had kind of connections or coaches or like people in our athletic department that like we would hop over and like babysit for a night. And I always kind of had those things. Or if it was like someone at my church, like this or that, I would always go and babysit. And I've always loved kids. And so I knew that like they needed a lot of love and they needed structure. And there was this, this huge unknown. And that was kind of where I saw my opening, and ended up getting connected with an incredible family in Denver. Nannied a little boy named Cooper, which like I feel like everyone at the company knows, because Cooper and I were both doing online school. I was shuffling him around everywhere. He knew like when I was on work meetings and when I had, this time and this thing to do. He's he's like literally one of my best friends. He turns 8 August 1st. So I am excited. He's having a Space Jam 2 party. So I've never been more proud. I feel like I've impacted his life in all the right ways.
For sure.
But yeah, and so that kind of happened, and he was my consistency. Like he was, we had each other's backs, and kind of from there, nannying, it ended up being for a woman that was an executive director of these preschools that also had just kind of opened during the pandemic, and people were scrambling and, just like trying to figure things out. And she really needed somebody to help in that admin role. And then also someone to just kind of help in jumping into rooms or, grabbing crying babies, things like that. And I knew that I was going to need, at that point, I was like, I don't know if sports are going to be a thing anymore. And I'm still, I still want to grow. I still want to learn things. I still want to, have that resume per se, or just, that physical, like, that like tangible thing that I can show of like, this is what I did. This is my experience. This is how I got it. And so I just kind of made that, transferable from something like that I wanted to do in sports, like being an admin. My goal is to be an athletic director. Doing that, in education, because that, it's all hand in hand. Like you have to work with the guys across the street. You have to understand that they're student athletes. And so I just kind of did the same thing. I was able to help, with their CRM system and their admin and doing, just organizing things that weren't in place yet.
I'm sure all this stuff like had to at some point wear you down, and because something's got to give, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I want to say it was definitely, I want to say spring. It was spring for sure. But I think too, like that, that rotation and things like that, and having women in sports, I think like sitting down and listening to those women talk about their lives and go through their struggles and kind of like their preschool jobs that they had before, they made it, are what really kept me going. I think just getting into a routine, I started realizing that there were like things that were non-negotiables, and things that like I had to do every day that like were me time. So like I absolutely love working out. So that's why I tell you like no meetings before 7 a.m. please.
That's not an issue with me. Don't worry.
And it helped too, like being mountain time. Like it ended up like being great because I work out at 6 a.m. every day. And then like by the time I'm done, like it's the world's kind of ready to like, talk and do things like that and start meeting and stuff. But yeah, I really kept my eye on the prize and just knew that, something was going to give eventually. And then I think definitely too, like I say this all the time, but like Rising Coaches, like gave me the opportunity to like keep my foot in the door, like keep me in the room and keep me in like multiple rooms as well. I feel like you were pulling me into things all the time. Like there were always different, hey, I want you to be on this call, or hey, I want you to connect with this person, or we're having, this women's basketball coach or like this person on this show. Like, how about you connect, obviously be the connecting person, the soundboard for Rising Coaches, but as well, like go get you some, like you guys were so like encouraging. And also I feel like in the morning with like, what do you want to do? What do you like, figure it out. You have to like, you can't be the person that is just like, well, I think I want to do this. Like, I think I want to do that. And so him just like encouraging me and you guys telling me to be super picky and then to reach out to people that are like in actual positions that you want to be, was huge. And so kind of through those connections I made with women in sports, really full circle, Shimmy Gray Miller, shout out. Obviously was at Clemson, had her on our show. I kind of was finalizing scheduling and things like that. And she was like, Erin, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, actually, this is exactly what I think I want to do. Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, I want to, be a director of operations. I want to have like an assistant AD title. I then want to like make my jump, move to an assistant SWA, whatever it is, kind of move on from there. But this is what I know I want to do. And these are the concrete positions that I'm looking to go into. And she was like, I got someone for you. Like, I'm going to connect you guys, hit her up. Like, we all miss our jobs. We miss being in the gym. We miss normal life. Let's, make it happen. And so I called Melissa Maines, who is the director of operations person at Minnesota. And I was just like, hey, like, do you want to sit down for an hour every week and just tell me about your job? And sure enough, I like literally just pulled up my notes page and started typing what she was saying and what she was doing. And, anything from how she handles gear, and also someone like her who has been at, really big, incredible universities, how things are different as well, but how they handle gear, how they handle travel, how she, really impacts like her head coach, like Lindsay Whalen, like, how, what Lindsay needs and how she meets her needs, as opposed to her other head coaches and things like that. And we ended up just like becoming super, super close, like as like people and friends. And she started, I'd say like, happy, like Merry Christmas, things like that. Her and her wife ended up adopting a baby boy. She knew I loved kids and was kind of in childcare and doing all of that. And that was like incredible. So I was getting picked up all the time, like actually like so excited I get to be with him all the time. Bring him to practice and whatever, I'll take care of him. But yeah, so like that, I just kind of became an extension of that, and it was just a connection. And not at all did I ever say like, hey, can you give me a job? Like, hey, like great, meeting you once, but like, are there any open jobs? Like, I just kind of was able to be picky and was able to get grounded and build like really, really, really great relationships. And then kind of fast forward, I definitely was running out of steam around like March. It sucked kind of seeing, the Final Four was happening and everything was going on. And I was really, really, really nervous about all those jobs becoming available. And I just really didn't want to throw myself out there like to anybody, just because my heart did want to stay in Denver. I love it. I've built, a home and a community here. And it's kind of the first, I've been an adult here and living on my own and juggling a lot of different things and just love the mountains. So that was a little scaresome. And then also too, just also like having that background of, I can be picky. And I feel like you guys were calling me like, hey, would you take this job? Would you take this job? And I was like, no, sorry. But I don't know, just kind of being like in that. And then I think, yeah, it was spring break time. I was flying to the Dos Equis 4-on-4, and it was kind of like, I think the week before that, it was the, 3-on-3, sorry.
4-on-4 is not a thing yet, but
right.
you can work on that.
Oh, we should start it. I'm kidding. Yeah. I don't think that would be fun, just saying. Okay. And and so it was like, I think the week before that, it was like midterms for class. Like, I think like the weather sucked. Like, it was just like a rough week where I was just like, I think I'm just going to be a preschool teacher forever. I love it. Like, I was like, I think I can do this for the rest of my life. And so I was just kind of looking into like, jumping into like high schools and this or that. And then I'm like, there's literally no money anywhere. Like, I don't know what, I'm just going to nanny the rest of my life. Like, I was like, Cooper, please stop growing up. We're going to be friends forever. Awesome. And then, yeah, I flew out to Indy and started working the Dos Equis tournament. And then like,
yeah, shout out to Mark Starziak from Inner School for providing that opportunity for you and a select group of others members.
Yeah. And that was like the really awesome thing too, was like, I finally got to meet these members that I was serving, and just like listen to, them, their stories, where they're at, how the pandemic affected them, just like being with them. We all had gotten COVID tested. So it was the first time like being like safely around everyone, and just like the environment that, being around these athletes and things like that. And then I think the biggest thing was not just that my team won, who I predicted, I think on this show, I think it was the Carousel. I literally was like, my MAC Big Ten team is going to win it all.
Oh yeah.
And that was like before they had even landed, I predicted that. And then they ended up being my team, won it all. So I was like the first like director of ops or Dobo, female Dobo, and then my team won. And so it was just really cool. And I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. Just like those feelings, those like you can't sleep at night. And then actually while I was out there, Melissa texted me and was like, hey, dropped a job link. And I was like, okay, all right. What? And something just felt a lot different about it, for sure. And I think just because like we had built that relationship, I felt very comfortable applying and doing things like that. And then just the of opportunities that I get to, have my foot in so many different things. So I'm going to be working directly under her, as well as Carly Tebow, who is the director of recruiting. So I will be, kind of doing everything that they do. And they have two completely different jobs, but once again, still important. But yeah, so then that ball kind of rolled, and I think I hit you up and was like, I think I just got this job at Minnesota. And you guys were like, what? And I was like, yeah. And then like, I think the same day, that was when Shimmy, accepted her job as well at Minnesota. And we were all like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. What a small world. Like it was good to finally, kind of see things, coming back in twofold. I feel like, yeah, it was super encouraging. And I was like, wow, like I still, once again, I don't believe it. I'm excited to just step on campus and take a big deep breath in and exhale and just get to work. I'm so excited to just, the grind of it. I'm so pumped.
Yeah. Next week, right?
Yeah. Monday.
So are we packed up yet? Not packed up yet. But that'll happen. And then are you driving? You're driving through the weekend and starting work on Monday?
Yeah. So actually my amazing parents, who are probably watching, they are flying from Chicago to Denver. They're flying from Chicago to Denver. They'll get in Monday morning, and we'll pack all my stuff up, in a U-Haul, and then we'll drive from Denver. I think we're going to hit up Des Moines. We'll stay in Des Moines for a night.
Great city, underrated.
Yes, I agree. And then we'll go from Des Moines into Minnie on Saturday, get all moved in. And then, maybe take a breath or two on Sunday, and things like that. And then and then I'll have my first day. My parents will fly out, I think Tuesday. They decided to stick around for a little bit. I don't get to see them much, so I'm sure they're like, oh, like is Tuesday, I think, is a cheaper flight. I'm like, sure, y'all can stay. It's fine. But yeah, and then it's, and
it's game on.
Game on. Yeah. I
love it. Well, Erin, I don't know where we'd be without you, first of all, as you know, and I appreciate all the hard work you've done for us over the last year and a half. I love that you really blazed the trail for that position, for our company, and took full advantage of all the, the relationships and the people that come through our organization. And you really, I feel like, are leaving us, not that you're really leaving us, but I feel like you're leaving us with all these relationships that you created on your own, but, created through or with the help of our platform or whatever, however you want to say it. But so appreciative and so glad that you set the tone for this position and for Rising Coaches, and that it led to a fruitful opportunity for you in the Big Ten with a big time program with a Hall of Fame head coach. So yeah, very excited to see how it goes and what's next for you.
Yes. And thank you. Yeah. And thank you for the opportunity. We just met. So like Adam and I are homies now because we just met in person, or that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even just Atlanta and kind of seeing, you know, where this all started and why it started, and to once again just get that glimpse like that you guys had, you know, so many years ago, and kind of being able to steward it a little bit, and the fact that you trusted this, you know, 20 something, not sure what the heck she wanted to do, just knew that she wanted to work hard and make something happen. And yeah, I'm super excited to get on campus, and they're building a dynasty there. I feel like I'm always kind of around programs that are in the makes and getting ready to really blow up, and excited to be a part of it, and, you know, carry my bricks and lay them and do things like that, and just try to make an impact wherever. So I couldn't have done it without Rising Coaches. Can't wait to I'll like be your brand ambassador or something one of these days. But yeah, I'm pumped. Super excited. I feel if Alex frozen or if I'm frozen.